Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about snow and freezing rain and how it can impact your holiday. Let's get right on into it. So, we are zoomed in on the Northeast today as that is where the most densely populated areas are. But we could be seeing a couple of systems, one hitting the night before Christmas Eve and then one hitting on Christmas. And these two systems do have their own separate impacts, and they both could make travel a little difficult in certain spots. So, let's start things off. We just had the nor'easter, which moved right around the coast, moved through, and now we have a bunch of cold air set in the region. Now, we start to see a clipper system start to move in from the west to the east. And throughout the day on Thursday and into the early morning hours on Friday, we see it move into areas such as New York, Connecticut. Upstate New York has been dealing with it for a little bit, but the heavier portion of it, the back end, is moving into Buffalo. As well as throughout the day, now we're kind of into very early morning on Friday, we see it start to move into Boston, the very leading edge. Then we kind of get our second round of this storm. And now this is about probably early morning, trying to get your things ready. It starts to move into parts of like the Scranton region of Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, New York City, and eventually off the coast by right around, let's call this 8 a.m. So it's off the coast, well, not off the coast by 8 a.m., but pretty limited to just southern New England by 8 a.m. and completely off the coast, and we're done with it by noon. So a quick hitting morning system, but that does not mean that you are out of the woods with that system, since there could be some snow-coated roads, especially closer to areas such as Albany and Buffalo and just areas further north. New York City, Boston, all those areas probably won't see enough snowfall to coat the roads, but just general disturbance in that case. But the main headliner here is this storm system, which we're already starting to see the main factor, which is freezing rain. Now this is the very late evening Christmas Eve. So this is about, let's call it 9 o'clock p.m. on Christmas Eve, and we start to see some rain and a little bit of freezing rain move through western New York, eastern Pennsylvania, and eventually this storm system starts to bring in a little bit more moisture, and look at all that red. That is freezing rain. Now there is some areas that will see some snowfall from this. In particular, you have northern eastern Connecticut, parts of Massachusetts, upstate New York around Albany, Rhode Island, those areas. But the main headliner here is going to be that freezing rain, that red. And especially since right now, it seems like starting, let's say, right around 1 a.m. Christmas morning, it's going to just travel straight up I-95 as it moves through Connecticut and Rhode Island, and then you get into the snow as I-95 moves north into Boston. But overall, this is going to be a messy situation for anyone east of Scranton, and let's just call it like this. So, from Scranton up through upstate New York and the entirety of southern New England will be in a very messy situation with this storm system. So, I do have some total amounts. Here is total snowfall. So Buffalo, you are in the area of about an inch to 2 inches. Albany, you're probably in 2 inches. Again, Boston, maybe an inch. And most of the major regions, the I-95 corridor, this is for both systems. Less than an inch across most of the I-95 corridor, except for south of Boston, primarily. But then you move on to freezing rain, And you have some pretty impressive numbers here for a very weak system compared to other storms that we were talking about. So a widespread 1/10 of an inch from all the way up near Watertown, New York, down through the Hudson River Valley and Albany, and then we have basically the entire state of Connecticut, southern Rhode Island, and Cape Cod. Now, along that I-95 corridor in southern New England, we could see 2/10 of an inch in some spots. Now, a 1/10 of an inch by itself could leave a glaze of ice across all the road surfaces, especially since most of this will be happening overnight. This whole model run, the NAM 3, ends at 12Z on Saturday, which, since we are in standard time, you subtract 5 hours, this is 7 a.m. So, right about at the time you may be leaving when you are going to your family holiday, anything like that. So holiday travel with this storm system could be very, very messy. But all in all, these are just a couple of the important systems in the Northeast that we could be seeing over the next 60 hours and could be impacting your travel. But that is all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.